Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallim ala Rasulillahil Kareem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I greet you with the universal salutations of peace. I greet you from the city of spires, in my humble college room at the University of Oxford. And I greet you with the blessings of the coming end of the holy month of Ramadan, a month that has been very different to what we had expected, and I am sure one that we will not forget. Ramadan is a month of worship, reflection, and purification. It is a time for us to set aside our bodily needs as a means of connecting to our higher purpose. It is a time for us to press pause and start anew. This Ramadan has been different. For some, this Ramadan has been alone. For others, this Ramadan has been too crowded, with limited opportunity for silence and reflection. This Ramadan, unlike those before, has allowed an even further enhanced connection, as we all share a sense of solidarity with those around us. The irony is not lost on anyone like myself experiencing this month away from their community. Solidarity has come not just because of our fasting, but because of our forced solitude. Social isolation was a term I never imagined we would become so accustomed to. In the light of Ramadan, however, I've drawn some parallels. If anything, in our current state, we have had the opportunity to embody compassion on a scale unlike ever before. I would like to reflect on 3 key lessons that this year, isolated in my college room away from family and friends, during the global COVID-19 pandemic of 2020, Ramadan has left me with. The first lesson is that of resilience. It is not new that Ramadan brings about growth and discipline. The act of fasting from dawn to dusk sensitizes us to our human frailties and offers us spiritual and moral reminders to increase our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to our fellow human beings. Ramadan provides us with the resources to check ourselves and how we fare with God's command on us to live a life of fairness and dignity. During most years, a testing time in Ramadan exists in the tension between our spiritual duties and that of our day-to-day roles in society. During the early days of the month, our excitement lends us to perform our prayers with vigor. Our iftar tables are set with luxuries that only come around once a year. Spirits are bright, and commitment to fulfill this pillar of Islam is at an all-time high. But as the month progresses through its thirds, our energies wane, and the true test begins. Iftars, prepared after a full day's work, become simpler. Our parallels become more mindful. The act of fasting becomes stripped of its frills, and every ritual becomes less ritualistic and more intentional. It is during these days I find myself closest to God. It is this growth during the month of Ramadan I enjoy experiencing the most. This year, resilience is more important than ever, not simply confined to this holy month, but in the future, as a means to help guide us to adapt to an ever-changing, ever more complex world in the face of a viral pandemic. All of us had our day-to-day roles in society changed. Some of us have had them removed. Ramadan has offered us the opportunity to process our new realities and to come to terms with a new shape and form that will make up our day-to-day lives. There is no doubt that resilience will be needed in the coming weeks and months. What better way to commit to carrying forward a gift from Ramadan? For those who are accustomed to sharing Ramadan with family and friends, There is a certain expectation of a month that brings a strong sense of community through sharing, eating together, and praying with others. For the first Ramadan in my life, I experienced what is a hidden reality for those who don't have a community or who are inhibited from religious expression. This Ramadan, it was just myself and God. For the first time, I was checked to see whether those well-known rituals were for the pleasure of that sense of community or truly a commitment to a higher being. This Ramadan, my college room was my cave of Hira, and it was in this state of seclusion that I was able to reflect on my second lesson, gratitude. Ramadan, in the normal experience of Ramadan, year after year, leaves me with an immense sense of gratitude to God, to my parents, for my health and my spiritual well-being. This year, the pandemic has enhanced these senses, bringing into stark contrasts the comforts I have with those who do not. I have become less concerned for the limitations on my freedom of movement and exponentially more concerned for the millions of people throughout the world queuing for food parcels. The most basic human needs for food, water, health, and shelter are no longer theoretical for me. They are very real. In this state of solitude, as if the recipients of a message, we have each been given the opportunity to reset ourselves. It can no longer be my fast, my religion, and my spirituality. We can no longer recognize ourselves as self-asserting, self-dependent beings. We have to acknowledge the extent and the complexity of our interconnectedness. We have to redefine what Islam means for us. How do we epitomize what it means to surrender? How do we bring out the beauty of this message in all of our daily actions? This brings me to my third lesson, one that is a lesson, a question, and a call to action. Compassion. Ramadan is a month of compassion and solidarity. It provides learning through action. Those who fast together all around the world share solidarity not just with themselves, but with the marginalized and less fortunate. This lockdown period has heightened our awareness to the injustices around us. We've begun to ask questions on the well-being of others with an enhanced sense of selflessness. We wear masks not to protect ourselves, but to protect others. We buy only the food necessary to get us by, so that there will be enough for the next person who comes along. We are more aware of our individual and collective impact on the environment and the damage we have done to our magnificent planet. And we fast, not for our own sake, but for that of others. In this new selfless awareness, we obtain a profoundly greater vertical connection to our Creator, not because of our individual actions, but because of the horizontal connections we have created with the beings we share this world with. Spirituality is no longer about my voice, but about ensuring that everyone around me has the opportunity to speak, and that we can speak to each other. To speak, I mean not to utter words, but to connect, to recognize and respect, regardless of gender, race, class, or religion. The coincidental combination of Ramadan, the pandemic, and being separated from those closest to me has nurtured a far deeper experience of Ubuntu than I had ever expected. And I am proud to be part of a spiritual community that expects this of me. The Claremont Main Road Mosque teaches a comprehensive and compassionate vision of Islam, one at which creating a more just, human, and caring society is at its very core. In conclusion, these three lessons of resilience, gratitude, and compassion are not new. They are old reminders, brought to the fore by the moment we find ourselves in. It would be unfortunate if we let these pass us by, only to hope that maybe they come around again next year. Let us resolve to perform our fast during the last days of this holy month, not merely as a duty, but as a pillar on which we build the love and solidarity for everyone on this earth. Let us in the coming days and beyond be gentle to each other, modest in our hearts, and dignified in our actions. Let us remember in our prayers all those with poor health, those who are hungry, and those who have lost loved ones. Let us remember the brave workers all around the world, working at our front lines, and let us recognize, appreciate, and celebrate all of their good deeds. May they be rewarded for their deeds. May we all be rewarded. And may we emerge from this uncertain time and this holy month of Ramadan, better versions of ourselves. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.